So in order to install Docker for Windows, just type in install Docker in Windows in Google and you'll get the first site and you have to click on that. And once you click on that, you'll come back to the Docker site and where you will get the download option. And you will see some of the information here regarding the Docker desktop. Just click on that and save it. And here you have both the options mentioned, like WSL2 backend and the Hyper-V backend that we will be seeing in a short while. So don't worry about that. For now, we'll just install the Docker desktop on Windows and we'll see how it works. So now that it has downloaded, just click on that and start installation. Install required Windows component for WSL2. Okay, just click OK. Not a problem. We'll go ahead with the WSL2 integration. Wait for it to complete the installation. Okay, so we have encountered an error. So what is that? So hardware assisted virtualization and data execution protection must be enabled in the BIOS. Okay. So what it is saying is for your Docker to work, you have to enable hardware assisted virtualization. And that's what we are going to do right now. Just copy the site and paste it here. You will find the options to basically enable this. This can be done using the Windows feature on and off. So you can just go directly to the Windows feature on and off section in your operating system and you can enable this feature. And that's what I'll do right now. And once it is done, what you can do is you can actually validate it using your task manager. By going to the performance section, you will see the virtualization as enabled. So let's see and check the task manager here. We'll go to the performance section and we'll see the virtualization here is disabled. Yes. So not a problem. We'll enable this. Go to your Windows feature on and off. And here you will see the option to enable Hyper-V. I'll just expand it for you to see clearly what am I trying to do here. So first one is virtual machine platform. This is already enabled. So not a problem with this. The second one is Windows subsystem for Linux. So I've already enabled this. And the third one that we have here is for the Hyper-V. So I'll just go to the Hyper-V section and I'll just check this. So we have a lot of options here, but I don't think so we have to enable everything right now. Just click on this, check that, and just click on OK, and it'll start applying the changes. Once it is done, just close this. So you can see even if we have enabled the feature on the Windows feature on and off, the virtualization still is disabled because we have not enabled it in the BIOS. So the hardware assisted virtualization is currently not working. So for that, what we need to do is we need to go to the BIOS and we have to enable it. So for that, what you can do, there are two options. You can just restart your machine and just hit F12 or F11 based on your motherboard and it'll go to the BIOS settings. And the other thing that you can do is you can just go to the recovery section in your Windows settings and under advanced setup, you can just click on restart now. So once your system actually restarts, it will ask you for option. So you can either continue so that you can exit and continue to Windows, or you can just move on to the troubleshooting section where you can actually reset your PC and see advanced options. So that is where we will go. Click on the troubleshoot button and you will see advanced option. And here you have to select the firmware settings. Just click on that and restart. So once you have restarted your machine, you will reach the section where you have your BIOS settings. So this is the BIOS. So once you have restarted, you will reach the BIOS settings and this will be different based on your motherboard. So currently I'm using a MSI Meg X570A. So if you're using this motherboard, then you are already in the right place. You can follow the same instruction that I'm saying right now. But for the VMware virtualization or the hardware virtualization settings may vary from motherboard to motherboard and the BIOS to BIOS and the version as well, the BIOS version as well. So you can just check the manual of your motherboard before actually operating on this one. For me, I know what exactly to be done, so I'm doing that. You can follow the same if you just want to learn. I don't have much to do here, so I'll just go to search. So in the search, you have to just type VM and you will reach to a point where it will show a setting for SVM mode. So what SVM mode actually does is it allows you to enable or disable CPU virtualization. So currently, as you can see, this is in the disabled state. So what we have to do? Exactly, we have to enable this. So just double click on this and click on enable and close this and come back to the settings and click on save and exit. Save changes and reboot. So it will show you what are the changes that you have made. You can just click yes and it will restart the system once again. So once you go back to the task manager, you go back to the performance section. Now you see the virtualization is enabled. So once the virtualization is enabled, I encountered one more error, that was WSL2 installation is incomplete. The WSL2 Linux kernel is now installed using a separate MSI update package. Please click the link and follow the instruction to install the kernel update. And please make a restart after installing the Linux kernel. So we'll follow the same procedure. I'll click on the aka.ms WSL2 kernel link and I'm going to install it. Just click on the link right now. And here you will find the setup for WSL2 Linux update package. Just download it, save it and install it. So this is the setup for WSL2. So once the installation is done, you can actually make WSL2 as the default setting or the default version by using the WSL-set-default-version -2 command that you can see here, the PowerShell command. So that's what we will do right now. So just open up the PowerShell and hit the command and just press enter and then just restart the machine. So once it is restarted, what will happen is your Docker is now started. And just click on start. You will see all the options here and you will reach the no container running page because we don't have any containers running, isn't it? And now if you click on settings, you will see use the WSL2 based engine. So just take a moment and think this is the setting for the Docker desktop. And if you haven't used Docker on Windows before, you may not see any change to this. But in case you already have, then you will relate to what I'm pointing at right now. If you see, it is mentioned here that use the WSL2 based engine as it provides better performance than the legacy Hyper-V backend. It sounds confusing, isn't it? But just for a moment, if you look at the right hand side, we have executed the Docker version command and it tells us that the client is having an architecture of 64-bit Windows. But on the other hand, the Docker engine itself is running on Linux. So how is that possible? Is it a Linux VM or is Docker still using a Hyper-V? As I already told you, there is a lot more to Docker for Windows that we actually think. Let's keep digging on that.